Good morning everyone, respected Father Principal, respected teachers and all my dear students of classes 10 and 12. I extend a very hearty welcome to speaker of the day, Dr. Piyush Gadegone. For me, he is a student like you all. He was a Carmelite. That makes me feel so proud to introduce him to all of you. He did his 12th class from the Janata Mahavidyalaya, Chandrapur. After that, he has completed his MBBS from the Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Medical Science, Wardha, in the year May 2016. He also has an MS in orthopedics from the Lokmanya Tilak Municipal General Hospital and Lokmanya Tilak Municipal Medical College, Sion, Mumbai, and he completed it in September 2020. After that, his education profile went on. He has completed his fellowship in spinal deformity at Kyoto University, Tokyo. And he has done it recently from January 6, 2025 to 14 February 2025. He has also completed his fellowship in minimally invasive spine surgery at Kansai Medical University, Osaka, Japan from February 16 to April 1st, 2025. He has also a fellowship in AO Spine at South Australian Scoliosis Services, Adelaide, Australia, under the mentorship of Dr. Michael Selby. And he completed it between 30th September 2024 to 25th October 2024. He has also completed his fellowship in minimally invasive spine surgery under Dr. John Coy at the Base Hospital in Melbourne, Australia. Currently, he is pursuing a fellowship in unilateral biportal endoscopic spine surgery in Yonsei Okai Hospital, Seoul, South Korea. He has also completed his he is a fellow of the National Board in Spine Surgery, Kothari Medical Center, Kolkata. He is also the fellow of the National Board of Education Certified Fellow of Spine Surgery with Dr. S. Basu. He has won a lot of prizes. He has scored the first prize at PG Orthopedic State Level Quiz at Kolhapur, organized by the Maharashtra Orthopedic Association at the annual conference and represented state of Maharashtra at Kolkata in the year 2019. He has got the first prize at all Maharashtra State Orthopedic PG Quiz organized by Department of Orthopedics, MIMER, Pune. He also got the first prize at the West Zone Quiz TYSA Talent Scholarship Orthopedic PG Quiz. The first prize and 3 lakh rupees cash prize with scroll of honor at All India National TYSA Talent Young Scholarship Quiz amongst more than 500 orthopedic PGs across the country. During his graduation, he has got gold medal of honor in physiology, pharmacology, pathology, medicine, pediatrics, obstetrics and gynecology, and also has got the silver medal of honor in anatomy and general surgery. A lot of his papers are presented in many journals. He has a big list of books where his articles and his books are published. He has published a chapter titled Antegrade and Retrograde Femoral Nailing in a book, Handbook of Orthopedic Trauma Implantology, published by Spiritual. Recently, he was a consultant orthopedic surgeon at the Gadegone Hospital, Chandrapur, his own father's hospital. He was the junior resident doctor at the Sushruth Hospital Research Center and Postgraduate Institute of Orthopedics, Nagpur. His future plans are that he wants to do some fellowship after this, and he is also selected for a personal fellowship with Dr. John Coy at the Base Hospital in Melbourne, Australia. Provisionally selected for the fellowship in spine surgery at Kyoto University, Tokyo, Japan, under the mentorship of Dr. Kota Watanabe. Ultimately, he wishes to settle down and set up an independent practice as a spine surgeon of his hometown, Chandrapur, in Maharashtra state, the central part of India. His father runs an orthopedic hospital, we all know it, and in the same city he wants to continue with his father. So with all this, I read only a few of them. He has a lot of achievements, and we are all proud to welcome Dr. Piyush Gadegone. May I request our principal, Reverend Father Jason, to welcome Dr. Piyush with the floral bouquet. It's like coming back to his home. So I wish him all the best for all his future plans. And his skills, I would definitely like to add up to it. His skills are in degenerative deformity and trauma in spine, basic and complex trauma surgery, computer skills and MS Office. And that's all. I could read it, and I know he has a big profile even after this. So welcome Piyush, the stage is all yours.
Good morning friends. Thank you so much Supriya for such a good introduction. And thank you students, father and all my respected teachers. Nina and Supriya and I have had the chance to learn from them directly, Shambho and Varshada, everybody. So it brings a lot of memories back as I step into this August school. And my talk today is not a very structured talk. It was Supriya's request to me or an invitation to me so that I can share my learnings and how and I could share my learnings and how I would like to encourage you to never stop dreaming. So the talk basically I would like to cover aspects for students who are late bloomers. And I tell you, there are so many people who might be scoring not so good marks, maybe say 65-75% marks. And you guys really need to understand your true potential. What most people who are scoring 90-95% marks, they are not extraordinarily gifted, talented, or they may not be having very good memory or any special gift, but what they have is better work ethics, better discipline, better methodology of study, and less tendency to get distracted. So people who are in their mid-mark ranges, I really want you guys to get this particular small talk as a catalyst for your journey. Right? So I'll just put up certain examples. I'm not sure. Yeah. So can anybody identify who this person? Can anybody identify? Mostly it may not be possible, but still let's go ahead fast. So he was a middle class man born in 1869 in Belgaum, India, Kolkata. He was passionate about mechanical objects and painting at a young age. And despite his family expectations to pursue religious scholarship, he was from a Brahmin family and maybe he was expected to take up the familiar job as a pandit. But he did. So he joined JJ School of Arts in Mumbai. And as fate would have it, he had to resign from that job because he came to know after joining the graduation course that he was partially colorblind. He could not differentiate between the colors. So he had to leave that course and then he shifted his focus to mechanical drawing and joined the VJTI college, which you today, those who are wanting to pursue engineering, is the Veer Jijamata Engineering College. And there for 10 years, he worked just as a assistant teacher, not even like a senior teacher or professor. And in that 10 years, he continued to closely observe the mechanical drawings and whatever textbooks were there. And he was always living his day with that burning desire to do something better for Indian masses and Indian communities. And that led to the formation of Kirloskar Company. Kirloskar Pumps or Kirloskar, you may have heard at least that name. It's a very big conglomerate started by a man who was colorblind, had to change his stream. And 10 years he worked only as an assistant teacher and then went on to make what was the base and foundation for India's industrial revolution. So he has often been referred to as the Henry Ford of India. But do challenges stop there? No. He was the one who introduced the thrasher cutting machines or the chaff cutting machines which you must have seen in the farms. He introduced the iron plough and he was met with severe resistance from farmers themselves. Why? Because they thought that these chaff cutting machines will take away their jobs. These iron ploughs will poison their fields. So he's a British agent and he should be troubled to just stop his business. But he didn't back down, had self-belief. And that is where he first set up his factory. So the key takeaway lesson from this would be that you may find your passion a little later in your life, but just continue that strive for excellence. Just have that belief in yourself that you also can do better. You also have something to contribute to this country, to this society. And humble beginnings in your school days may not necessarily mean that you cannot excel in life. If someone tells you that, your friends, your relatives, that, oh, you kuch nahi kar sakta life mein, please don't believe them. Please don't believe them. But then at the same time, also know what your calling is. So I am trying to dish out examples which are relatable to you and which are not that famous. But we'll try to take some key lessons from these stories. So does anybody identify this person? Virus, right? And what was the peculiar character of this character? He had a lisp. So he was a child who was born with dyslexia, dyscalculia, and a lisp. So everybody made fun of him. He was bullied in school. He was called Bichara Bobo. That was his nickname. And see how you turn the stones which are thrown at you into milestones. He made that lisp so iconic that he's still one of the most loved characters in Indian movie industry. His dyscalculia is so severe. Dyscalculia meaning you struggle to understand what exactly the numbers are. Like you may, Supriya must have checked so many papers. So if it's 58 into 7, the student will solve the paper but has 85 into 7. He'll do it correctly, but the sequencing of the number is jumbled and that's why he loses marks. So he has this learning disability. But then, do you know at what age did he debut in Bollywood? I think it was around 40 years of age. So what was he doing in those initial 40 years? His father died when he was 5 months pregnant. When his mother was 5 months pregnant with him, his father died. Extreme hardships. His mother ran a bakery, a chips shop, which he also took over because he was poor in studies. But then he realized that he was a really good storyteller. There were some blind people around his neighborhood, and when he would narrate the stories of films to them, they would just praise him that you are such a good narrator. Despite me being blind, we could envision the movie so well. And he just kept on working on that. Watching movies, trying to understand the camera angle. Watching movies, trying to understand the dialogue delivery. Trying to understand the lighting. You would watch the same movie again and again. So, the key takeaway again here is that you are still in your infancy of your career, if not infancy of your life. It's not too late to find your calling now. Everybody does not need to become an engineer or a doctor. With the availability of internet, you people have that access to research which professions may be in demand in the coming years. Do you have a knack of trying to solve that problem? And do you have that talent and skill to do something good? So, is Bowman Irani, I'll just skip through the slides. So what he says, don't blame failures on others. You are responsible for your success. Work for the man in the mirror. Be less bothered about what your relatives say. Be less bothered about what your friends say. If you feel at the end of the day that you gave your best for the exam, then be happy about it. But be honest to the man or woman who is in front of the mirror. Have I studied the best I could have? And if the answer is yes, be content with yourself. Try to journal. Journal meaning write a diary. Try to understand what mistakes you made. Try to re-strategize. But don't be sad. Don't feel dejected. Don't feel demotivated. That's the key takeaway from this story, I would say. Success has no age limit. In his 20s, he worked at Taj Hotel as a waiter. At 34, he became a professional photographer. He would take photography assignments for weddings, for birthday parties. At 44, he made a debut with Munna Bhai MBBS. Today, he has 100 plus films, celebrated character actor. And now at the age of 65, recently, he has directed a movie. Just have that self-belief. Just try to understand what your inner calling is. I'm not saying that studies are not important, but please try to understand if you are not getting good grades, do you have any other talent which you can harness and become successful in life? And if so, I don't think there is a better time to strategize it and share it with your parents. Seek help from your teachers, seek help from your seniors, seek support from alumni like us. And I'm pretty sure the management, father, and teachers will help you connect with these kind of students. If possible, I would request father to upload some stories or success stories of our alumni on the college website, so that can ignite a spark in students. Anybody can identify this person? Anybody? So he's Fauja Singh. Fauja Singh. Fauja Singh was an illiterate man born in the 1920s or 30s in India. Could not make big in life. Could not even walk by the age of 5 years, and hence was mocked at or nicknamed as Danda by his friends and bullies in the school. His wife and son died in an accident when he was around 90 years old, and one of his sons used to live in UK. So to overcome the sadness, to change the atmosphere, to grapple with the grief and immense family tragedy which he had suffered, he immigrated to UK. At the age of 89, he feels that what am I doing as an old man sitting at home just lamenting the loss of my wife and son? I need to do something constructive. I need to do something productive. And he starts training to run. That's it. Simple activity. Keeps you healthy, takes your mind off your sorrows, and kills time like nothing. At the age of 100, today he's 100 years old, he has completed a marathon, 42 kilometers of run at 100 years of age. So the key takeaway from this story for you students is, you are soon going to enter a world which is unscrupulous, unforgiving. You will always have deadlines, you will always have work pressure. And mind you, in India there is no concept of work-life balance, at least in the initial hustle years of your life. Say about 35 to 40 years of age. Unless you have attained a senior position in school, or unless you have attained a good base in your business or market. And this pressure, I tell you, is taking a toll on health of a lot of young individuals. As a doctor, we get to see a lot of students in their graduation days having neck pain issues, back pain issues, prolonged sitting for hours in the school, in the libraries, having no time to have a proper diet or eat good food, eating oily food, junk food. And then that takes a toll on their health. And I tell you, no matter how good or how successful you are in your professional field, if you do not have at least basic physical health in place, you will never feel happy. You will never feel motivated and energetic to put up your face at work on the next day. Please try to at least do basic exercise. 20 minutes of walking is enough. Maybe as time will grow, you will develop a liking for that. You will develop a habit of finding time to do that. But at least do that. Take care of your back, take care of your neck, take care of your knees, take care of your body. Physical health is very, very, very important as you go ahead. Please don't overeat, don't gain a lot of weight in these formative years of your life. Does anybody know who the Ipui is? He's PC Mustafa. Okay. PC Mustafa, yeah. So he was born in Kerala in a very, 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 very poor family and a very mediocre student. In class, his father used to work in a coffee plantation for about 10 rupees a day or 6 rupees a day of daily wages. And in class 4, he failed. And he failed so miserably that he gave up school. Now class 4, what is the age of a student in class 4? I think 9 years. So at 9 years of age, he's pushed into working as a laborer. And he doesn't like that. No 9 or 10-year-old kid likes that. Fortunately, we had a teacher who had sympathy for him, who had empathy for him. He arranged for his school again, requested the parents to let him go back to school. He also then had a firm belief that whatever happened, I failed in class 4. Now I need to gather myself back. Now I need to give myself a push. And then he studies and walks 4 kilometers to his high school daily. 4 kilometers. I usually do a jog, a treadmill jog, 4 kilometers running daily. And it's really taxing at time. To hear 4 kilometers, going 4 kilometers, coming back, seems like a easy job, but that's not. He even worked to sell firewood and saved 150 rupees to buy the family a first goat. So at that small age, he developed those responsibilities that he now also needs to contribute to the family's growth as well. What happens later? Dramatic improvement. He tops the class in 7th class. From a failure in a school dropout in class 4, a good teacher, a good mentor, and personal motivation to take the family out of that poverty, to improve that situation for himself and his family. He studies like never before and tops the class 7th, rank 1 in school in class 10, and then goes to NIT Calicut, secures rank 63 in state entrance, goes to get a computer engineering degree. And you must have had this in your house definitely. I do. You get good dosa batters, idli batters, and I'm pretty sure you must have gone in the supermarkets and seen this brand. And he's the founder of that brand. He founded that brand and today it's a 4,000 crore industry. 4,000 crore industry. From struggling to make ends at 10 rupees a day to 4,000 rupees. And it employs around 1,000 ladies from rural India into that business. So that is the change which he was able to achieve. So the key takeaway again here is, if you are not doing that well in school right now, don't think that you are moron, don't think you are stupid, don't think you have low IQ. Maybe your work ethics are not as good as what the toppers have. And try to change that work ethics, that study methodology and that dedication and that hard work. And I won't like to just barrage you with all these information from the internet. I myself can vouch that when I was preparing for All India entrance exam for my post-graduation, I thought I can never make it to the top ranks because maybe the toppers are just gifted. And in third MBBS, there is a subject called as community medicine or preventive and social medicine. And I had read that textbook 4 times. And I felt, I have read the textbook 4 times and I'm still not able to get all the answers correct. Maybe I am a moron. Maybe I don't have that brain, what it takes to top the exam. Only to realize that the girl who had topped the exam had read that book 16 times. So all I needed to do was have that energy, have that motivation, and slog those hours to read that book 16 times. And maybe I could have scored more than that. So again reiterating the fact, toppers are not that gifted. They just have better work ethics. I want to hammer that into your brains as you leave this hall. Education is valuable, yeah, but it's not the only part to success. Does anybody know her? Does anybody know her, who she is? Okay. She is Kalpana Saroj. Okay. Born in a poor village in Akola. I'm trying to dish out local examples so that you can relate more. Her father was a police constable, yet he got her married off at the age of 10. Married off at the age of 10 to a man who was around 10 to 12 years elder to her. Her husband took her to Mumbai, lived in a slum, in a room which was just about 10 by 15 feet or meters, whatever it is, with 15 to 20 other family members in such small room. No nutrition. He would beat her. He would abuse her. He would physically and mentally torture her. So much so that when her father returned to see her, she was totally emaciated, just like a stick. No muscle, no fat, only a piece of bone walking. So her father brought her back to the village. The marriage was dissolved. But she is uneducated. So, at the age of 16, she attempted suicide because there is nothing good she can do in her life. She consumed rat poison. She was in the hospital, admitted. And during those 10 to 15 days, she had the time to think, take a step back as to what's wrong with her life and how she can take control of this bizarre situation. And one thing she realized that whatever step and effort I take from this step, it's only going to get better. There's nothing left to lose now. So there was a company. I'll just stick to this slide. Maybe I missed one of the slides, but I know her story, so I just narrated to you guys. So she started off as a tailor, doing tailoring works, earning 10 rupees a day, 20 rupees a day for stitching a blouse or whatever clothes she would get. Slowly and steadily, she educated herself in basic things, at least to read and write. No formal school education. Then she understood about a government scheme wherein such ladies who are at disadvantage can apply for a loan. And she got a 50,000 rupees loan. And then she slowly grew her tailoring enterprise to a bigger business. And with that success, she was able to learn her way into real estate, buying and selling lands, buying and selling farms. And from that, she became a very, very big respected figure. So much so that there was a company in Mumbai called as Kamani Tubes. It was founded by some famous business family. And that company was around 112 crores of debt. Okay. Electricity bills to the line of 27 or 30 crores, something like that. And on top of that, 114 litigations, court cases. But about 1,000 families of the workers in those bills with no support. And all those families, some of them knew her as a motivated lady. They requested her, please take care of this, 1,000 families are at stake. She had the courage to buy that company, okay, with that debt, with those many litigations. Today, if we go to buy an apple, how many of us in today's generation have that bargaining skill? No one. Gone. That generation is gone. Our parents knew how to do that. She negotiated with the government to reduce that debt from 112 crores to a mere 30 crores. Can you imagine? Took care of all the court cases and transformed that company into a profit-making business. By whom? A lady who has no school education. A lady who was on the verge of death, who was about to die by suicide, who was molested and abused by her husband. And today she has been awarded as Padma Shri by the government of India, and she is a board member of IIM Bangalore. So an institute which most of us had dreamt of being into, a lady who had no education, was able to become a board member in that. So the key takeaway again was that education, of course, is important, but if you somehow have not been able to score those good grades, please try to think what your calling can be, and if you have those hidden talent or some inner calling which can help you not just improve your life and career, but help others in your society as well. But again, I'm not demotivating anyone of you that education is of not importance. It is of utmost importance. It opens up doors from, it has the power to elevate you from poverty to right up there. So let us also take this case example. You know who this guy is and who this guy is. Please don't tell me you don't know this. If this generation doesn't know this, then you are in trouble. You know who these guys are? Yeah. So how many of you know that they both were schoolmates? You know? Yeah. And they were involved in a famous partnership in the school tournament where they batted for some 1100 runs for 3 or 4 days. So the best of the friends in their beginnings, immensely talented, but let us see their career trajectories and then I'll try to share what key takeaways can be in these stories. Sachin Tendulkar plays 200 tests, 24 years, 34,000 runs. What does Vinod Kambli do? 17 tests only, 9 years of career and only 3,500 odd runs. What's the lesson? Longevity requires consistent effort and consistency beats occasional brilliance. And why I say that occasional brilliance? Because at one point of time, Vinod Kambli's average in Test cricket was more than Don Bradman's. He at one point of time was the youngest person to hit some 2 or 3 double centuries. But success should not go to your head. Euphoria should not hit you. You need to stay grounded. You need to realize that the sport, be it job, be it business, continuous updation of yourself, continuous updating yourself with the latest knowledge, latest skill set, and reinventing yourself, correcting your mistakes is what is most important. Early success. If you have the opportunity, just go and type on YouTube Tom Alter, Sachin Tendulkar. Tom Alter was one of Bollywood's actors. He also used to work as a part-time sports journalist, and he had the opportunity to interview Sachin for the first time ever when he was a 15-16-year-old boy. Just look at the calmness, the composure, the confidence, the groundedness he had at that age, at 16 years of age. This is just the beginning. Whereas the overconfidence of Vinod Kambli, drowned him, 1996 Semis World Cup. So in my generation, say 6 or 7 years, who were elder to us, that heartbreak moment like you guys had this time when Rohit Sharma and team lost the 2023 World Cup final. It was that pivotal moment in 1996 when we lost the semi-final in Kolkata against Sri Lanka. And that was a very, very disheartening moment for all the cricket fans of that era. We took responsibility of the loss, whereas Kamli had a public emotional breakdown, had a verbal spat about how Azharuddin was responsible for the loss and how he let his team down. So the lesson is resilience defines true champions. Take responsibility of your failures, please. If you have not been able to do well, it's not because your teacher didn't teach you well. It's not maybe because your father didn't give you fancy books and fancy pen. Please take responsibility of your failures. Career slump, 2003 to 2007, his body had underwent so many injuries, No part of his body has remained unaffected, Toe fracture, tennis elbow, groin injury, hamstring injury, shoulder injury, and tennis elbow was like the most shattering when he was out of cricket for 1 or 2 years. And before that tennis elbow injury, he was just a fabulous hitter, he was just an aggressive batsman. And I am pretty sure the father or any other senior here who is a sports fan would know that he had next level of aggression in his batting. But then with that sports injury of a tennis elbow, you see how he reinvented himself. You see how his batting technique and approach changed and how he continued to be on top of his game for 24 years. Financial IQ was very important. When brand endorsements came, he was a complete family man. He took care of his finances, took care of all his businesses other than cricket. Whereas Vinod Kambli, today, you must have heard recently, about a year back, he had a stroke, he was in the ICU in hospital and he couldn't even pay his bills. Sachin paid his bills and he lives off BCCI pension. Two same talents, same backgrounds, same coaching, same initial trajectories, and look where the two ended. And the key takeaway is that temperament matters, staying humble matters. I hope I've been able to carry that message to you. And I won't bore you much, I'm just on the verge of finishing our talk. Does anybody know who she is? Okay, so it's there in the slide. So she was a 24-year-old girl who had almost never cycled before in her life. Almost never cycled before in her life, maybe just occasional as a skill set growing up, but hadn't taken up professional cycling even at school levels. And then she picks up this hobby at the age of 24 and just as a motivation for fitness. And she gets so good in that that by the next 7 years, she's into the American cycling team. Someone who hasn't had any start in the way. She was in the American cycling team but could not make it to the final because of competition. But she was asked to be a standby. And even when she was asked to be a standby, she continued to play. She maintained her fitness, she maintained her diet regime, she maintained her physiology. And then the opportunity came up there. One of the key players of the cycling team of USA got injured. She was called upon at the last moment. And I'm not joking, she got the gold medal in Olympics cycling. So opportunity comes knocking, but you have to be ready to pounce on that opportunity and make the most of it. So you can discover new passions and talent at any age. She was not the first choice for Olympics, but her preparation paid off when the chance came. Any challenge, no matter how scary or daunting, was her jam, says Kirsten Faulkner Schools. So my name is Kirsten Faulkner. Take care of your mental health, guys. You are now going to enter a very, very cutthroat competition world. Some of you may be immigrating to other cities and other towns. Kota alone has seen 26 students die by suicide in 2023. Kota alone, one city. Students who went to prepare for class 11 and class 12 entrance examinations. And I tell you, Rahul Bigumal, he was an IIT Hyderabad ethics student. He died by suicide just because he was concerned that his placement and his thesis would not match with the expectations what his family and friends had. He would have got placement for sure if you are an IIT passer. But he couldn't take that pressure that I'm not getting X, Y figure in my salary bracket. So what would my life is to live in? Please take care of your mental health, stay motivated. Academic pressure is real and can have serious consequences on your mental health. Talk openly about your stress, my dear friends. Please open up about it to your friends, to your teachers, to your family members. Balance between studies, hobbies, exercise, rest, sleep cycle is crucial. Please set realistic goals. आज एक पूरी टेक्स्ट बुक खत्म कर दूंगा. No, that's not how it works. Set realistic targets. Celebrate those wins and plan your days accordingly. And please don't ignore stress. You may feel I'm going a little overboard by speaking about these topics in the school, but many of you may fall to these peer pressures, may fall to these bad coping mechanisms of falling into bad habits of smoking, drinking, and rash driving and everything. So please protect yourself from all these bad habits. Corporate burnout. 55% of Indian techies work more than 52 hours a week. 52 hours a week. So please take care of your back, neck, eyesight, anxiety, depression. Young professionals in Pune, Bangalore are reporting cardiac arrest, diabetes, burnout by the age of 30-35 due to erratic sleep, poor diet and no exercise. Sacrificing health for deadlines can cost you your career tomorrow and the love and affection. You have to pay back to your family. You have to, the care you have to take of your parents, that can all go for a toss if you don't take care of your mental and physical health. Please support each other. Be kind to classmates. Don't be bullies. Don't be people who are not friendly to your colleagues. I don't want to be friendly. Please don't do that. Schools and families should prioritize emotional well-being alongside academics, and I'm pretty sure the atmosphere here is conducive. And I request and appeal teachers and management to try to work towards this direction, that students can open up about these issues to you if they are not comfortable about speaking these issues to their parents. And then maybe you can act as a bridge to help them. Final takeaway: success is a journey, not a race. Protecting your mental health today builds a stronger, happier tomorrow. Your marks may open doors, but your well-being helps you walk through them. Okay? Action. I think I've already covered these. So the point number 3, 68% of depressed students improve after sharing their struggles with teachers. And I tell you, my teachers and I have had a very, very, very warm and cordial relation since class 9 and 10. I had decided in my class 9 or 10 itself that I'm going to take biology. And I still remember Supriya ma'am had told me, Piyush, you have leave maths in class 11 and 12. I said, yes. So then you have to give me with 100 marks in your 10th board exams. So that if you get 100 out of 100, tomorrow nobody will say that you were weak in maths and that's why you had to leave mathematics. Unfortunately, I couldn't fulfill her wish. But that was the level of warmth and cordial attitude which we had with our teachers. So, your body isn't the machine. Treat it like a temple and it will carry you to your greatness. Anybody who knows him? Most of you won't know him. But I brought you a very local example. He's Amit Agarwal, my batchmate. This group, class 9, 65% marks. Class 8, somewhere around that 65-70% marks. But then gets into a very good social circle, good friends, who motivate him, who help him understand what he's missing. And he also learns from their study techniques and work ethics. So he jumps to about 85% in class 10. Goes on to get a decent engineering college, but not like great engineering college in his graduation. Not NITs, not the IITs, not the COEPs in Pune, or not the VJTI in Mumbai. But a decent engineering college. I'm not sure, I think it was YCC in Nagpur. But he continued those slow gains which he had been gaining from class 8 to 9 to 10. He ended up with I'm not exactly sure how that works, but the pointer system. So he had 9.8 CCPI pointer. From then, he went on to pursue his masters in IIT Delhi. And from IIT Delhi, he got a career-changing opportunity to head some division of a company in London. And today he is settled in London and probably one of the highest earning individuals of our batch. So I motivate you guys. There is someone here who has scored 65% marks in class 9. And you are going to improve like he did. And you are going to be on this board maybe 15 years down the line when some of your batchmates come back. She may not know her, but she was a roommate of my sister. And please be open to the idea that you may not be built out for the profession which your parents or your family or you yourself have pushed yourself into because of ill-informed decisions or go with the flow kind of a thing. So she was my sister's roommate during MBBS. She took up MBBS, but she had a great passion for writing. And Chetan Bhagat, the famous author, had come as a chief guest in that medical college. And she was an intern by that time, almost had finished her medical degree. And she requested him, sir, I have a good passion for writing, can I intern with you? He said, yeah, please come. So she worked as his assistant for 1 year. Random occurrence, right? What were the odds that she wanted to take up writing novels as a profession or a hobby? And then Chetan Bhagat comes to that same med school as a chief guest, and then he accepts her as his intern and assistant. So she changed from being an MBBS to being into writing. She was one of chief contributors to that movie, Two States, worked with him in that movie production and everything. And then she did her MBA, and today she is at a very, very big post in Deloitte in United States, Pennsylvania. So a medical person later pivoting into management jobs. So if you share this kind of an idea with somebody, the people will call you a fool. You're gone mad. You're wasting your med degree. What will people say? She had that belief, and she made it work for herself. So your journey starts today. Try to learn one skill. Try to learn a new language, maybe as you go ahead, maybe Japanese, maybe Korean, maybe German. Because that knowing that extra language can help you a lot in getting jobs in the future, opening yourself to new cultures, reducing the barrier and inhibitions to immigrate to a better country or better opportunities. Speak to yourself and try to journal. When you put the pen on paper, a lot of the backward noise in your mind reduces. You talk to yourself, and I think today's times, when social media is so prevalent, when the dopamine surges in your brain are so high with all this TikTok or Instagram, it's important that you have some time with yourself, speak to yourself, so that you get more clarity. Read one story of a late bloomer maybe once a month, and stop comparing yourself to toppers. Okay? Focus on the lane. Build discipline over motivation, because motivation is garbage. You read 10 books on motivation, maybe it's not going to work. Motivation is garbage, to be honest. Just do it. Just do it. If you have a thought in your mind, you have to go and sit and study. Don't look at the clock. Okay, when it's going to strike 9, I'm going to switch off this phone and then I'm going to go to study. No, please just say it in reverse order in your mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close it. Turn on the TV and go to study. What I wish someone had told me when I was 16. It's okay to fail. That's where the real learnings begin. It's okay. Find what excites you, not what looks fancy. Life isn't a race, it's a series of sprints and races. Stay humble, stay hungry. Seek help when stuck. Nobody succeeds alone. Bounce back from setbacks. Every failure is a setup for comeback. Practice gratitude. Notice what's going right. Be thankful to your parents. Be thankful to this atmosphere which you are living in. There are many people who are living in extremely, extremely bad conditions. If you compare yourself to 150 crore Indians, you are probably already in the top 5% of privilege. So, and learn to say, I don't know yet. Okay? So that's where the learning begins. Digital learning. Use technology to learn, not to scroll. Social media isn't real life. Don't compare yourself behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reels. He's enjoying his life so much. Why am I not able to do it? Please don't fall into that trap. Role models are everywhere. Learn from people around you, not just celebrities. If you want to learn dedication and consistency, learn it from Wikipedia. I'm not joking. I'm not sure if he has still maintained that record, but when I was there, he had not taken a single leave in 12 years. Not a single leave in 12 years, mind you. Everyone has a story. Listen, observe, get inspired. Be someone else's role model in your action. Don't fear mistakes. They are a proof that you are trying. Efforts matter more than talent. And remember, every master was once a beginner. Thank you.
My name is Shweta Kansol and I am from class 10. First of all, your speech was really nice. I want to ask you that if we have already our goal, we have our goal in mind, and we are trying to reach it. So we have a goal and we are trying to reach it. And the society is like always that some people, they don't like the sometimes it happens to us that even if our life is going good or wrong, there is one kind of feeling that what will they think about me if I do this or do that? What will they think about me? So, is this choice really what I wanted? Or should I step back and think about it some more time? Or should I go some other way? So, how can we overcome this kind of feelings?
So you have to realize it that लोग क्या कहेंगे ये भी हम ही सोचेंगे तो लोग क्या सोचेंगे. So first you have to get that out of your mind. And as I said that if you want some clarity, start writing your mind on a piece of paper. Nothing gets the background noise in your mind, the useless thoughts in your mind, those doubts in your minds to creep down like you start writing on a piece of paper. Just start writing what's in your mind and automatically what answers you're seeking for will come jotting on the paper. That's all I think. I hope I answered the question.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Well, I wanted to say that your words speak for how beautifully you have learned throughout these years. And right now, because you're listening more like a psychologist and a teacher, I really like that part. My question was related to burnout, because burnout comes in different forms. And burnout is something that for elders and even children and teenagers basically because it's a more complicated period, how to deal with this burnout of every kind of expectation, every kind of pressure, and how do I know that this thing is right for me? And when I have multiple, bundle of opinions, bundle of choices, how do I choose what's right for me?
The basic answer is it's better to be king of one trade rather than being jack of all trades. Right? I'm not saying that people can't be multi-talented. I have known my friends who are good orthopedic surgeons and are excellent tabla players, who are good doctors and excellent Kathak dancers. There are people who are excellent in their sporting activities. So they'll play badminton in the evening or lawn tennis in the evening and then they'll smash the ball so good that you feel that he was a state level player also. But you have to realize that in this world you have to earn your bread, you have to provide for your family. And you have to have a clear differentiation between what you want to pursue as a hobby and what you want to pursue as a profession. And it's not that impossible to pursue your hobby if you like something. Suppose say you want to become a Kathak. I'm not sure what exactly are the two dilemmas in your mind, but I think it's important that you choose which you love the most. And then if you love both of them equally, think which is going to have a chance of earning your bread better for your family in the later life, and then choose that profession. And then if you still have that longing to pursue that other craft of yours, you can take it up as a hobby at any time.
Good morning, sir. I am very happy to see you as a successful person. My question is, as my dad is a lawyer and my brother he took NEET and just 2 months earlier of NEET exam he quit and he got to take study for LLB and now he is regretting his decision coming in second year as well. So, as my dream is to become a lawyer, but my family is saying that just means you don't go to your brother's path. He is now regretting for that, and they are telling to take JEE, become an engineer. So, I am very confused. I have many successful people and many idols which in my family, and their opinions are different. So I am now confused what to choose.
So you have your brother in your family. You should first at least talk to him that why he had such a drastic shift in his mindset. That first he was religiously preparing for say biology streams and then switched over to being a lawyer and then now regretting taking up that as a profession and then have your own personal journey. Because as I said earlier, the why is important. Why do you feel that you should become a lawyer? And at this age, I honestly tell you, there is lack of maturity. You feel that 16 years of age with that all those hormones and adolescence that you are the king and queens of this world. But you guys, take it from me, you have very less maturity and understanding of how the world works. So, if you want to take up being a lawyer, first have that in your mind. Why am I wanting to be a lawyer? If it's just because my father was a lawyer and since as a child I have been seeing him do his stuff, so I'm more familiar with this, so I'll be more comfortable. That's not the honest choice to make. And if you don't feel passionate about engineering stream, I think you should discuss it with your parents. Tell them the reverse way. What if, father, I quit preparation of JEE 2 months before my JEE exams, and if you force me to and I take up some other job? What if I become the exact same example as my brother? And don't have negative connotations about your brother. At least he was honest enough to accept and reassess that. It's not that if he is not going to become a lawyer and an engineer, he is a failure in life. I've shown you plenty of examples right now how people have excelled by changing their professions later in life. So you have to realize your why first. And then I encourage you guys to try to sort of intern in your summer vacations and these kind of jobs. When I was in Melbourne for my training, a class 9 girl had come to intern with the spine surgeon. It was an informal thing because my father was his golf buddy. Just to see how they spent their day. What's the life of a doctor? Just to see whether what I see in movies, what I read in novels, how different is that reality? And tell us how many of us have even thought of doing that. So please try to have these kind of interactions and trying to spend 2 or 3 days with people who are already into these streams. And then maybe you can zero down if you have double mind about 2 or 3 streams to choose from. That's what I would say.
As ma'am said, there were 3 pages of biodata. You did a massive work in your past few days. So how you build that consistency and also for further plannings you are doing?
So as I said, the why is important. So why I did that consistently? Because I did not want to be the reason for someone's failed surgery. I had that compassion. Even today, if I have to go for a surgery which I have not been performing very regularly, I go ahead and read my textbooks again. I take out my notes. I see YouTube videos. I see our educational DVDs, and then go in for surgeries. So that consistency came from that one thought that I want to be honest to myself. After I've closed the surgery, I want to be honest that I did my best so that this patient gets the best result. And if I did my best and still he has a bad result, which is of course possible because we are not gods, then maybe I can make peace with it. But I continued that pursuit of more knowledge, more refinement, because I wanted to not be the reason to be somebody's busy. Patient can't walk for the remaining 30 years of his life, he can't see me for the next 30 years of life. And then other patients seeing him not seeking help for themselves, thinking, oh, surgery causes these kind of bad results. We don't want to go that path. So that thought process was always there. So that is why I was always motivated to pursue. But to be honest, guys, I have not made a huge mark in my career as of now because I'm just beginning. So the CV is very good. Let's see and revise my life after 20 years and we'll know whether it's really worth it.
I have to move towards the profession of doctor in my journey forward. So, what are the foundation steps, or in the 11th and 12th class, what should be the focus on our studies, in which path we should go and follow to succeed a better future?
So quick answer, studying patterns, techniques, methods keep on changing with certain time periods. When I was in class 11th and 12th, our focus was to not study NCERT books, study state board books, very limited syllabus as compared to AIPMT, crack that. And if you are lucky enough to be in Maharashtra, then because Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka have so many medical colleges, you had a better chance of placing yourself in these colleges. So to be honest, I won't be the best guide to tell you what exact study techniques to employ, but accepting realities is very important. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Biology and medicine as a branch is a lot of memorization. You will continue to wonder why am I studying this, what help is it to me, but that's how it is. AIPMT or NEET exam, it is not an exam of selection. You have to remember it's an exam of elimination. No way in this world is going to happen that a student mass of, 10 lakh, 15 lakh students give that exam.
In this exam, 20 lakhs.
Yeah. So no way a question paper can be set in a manner that it chooses people who are good. They just want to add difficult and useless questions so that they weed out people who are not expert. You realize what I'm trying to say? So you have to first make peace with this fact. I have to do ratification. Of course, then if you give logic and importance to why I'm learning this, it is going to make sense. But still, like when I was in class, cockroach cardiovascular system was taught, and I really didn't understand why was it taught and why there were so many questions on it. So if you understand these realities, I think it will become easier for you to study. pinpoint question of yours, what techniques I can, but honestly, I wouldn't be the best guide. Your seniors from this school who have a similar background as well. You can talk to them to exactly replicate and then tailor-made, modify those strategies and techniques which they have, which books to read, and at what stage of your class 10th or 11th you should start reading. And first, very important, remember medicine takes a lot of time. I entered medicine in 2010 and I exited it at almost 2024. So it took me 14 years. So do you have that physical, mental capacity and zeal and to slog for those 14 years when your engineering colleagues will be joining at good jobs, high-paying jobs, satisfied lives abroad at say 26, 27 years of time. So whys have to be clear. It's not often about how, why, the why is clear. Why you are taking up medicine, then I think these questions become a little less clear because then the motivation starts coming from within. I hope that answers the question. If there's something specific, we can talk after the session.
Thank you, Piyush, for this wonderful session which you have conducted for the students. Sleeping on the sofa, so many techniques you told where you can implement that, and that envisioning of the syllabus of the lessons which you learn is important. I have seen, I think he used to write also when he was in the school, yes or no? He is insisting on penning down the things. I have seen that kind of attitude when he was in the school. So the most important thing is when our own students come back and we can see their success journey, it is definitely a motivation for you and for me also and for the teachers who taught him, for all of us. School has played a big role and we would definitely like to motivate their own juniors that yes, success can be this. As a token of our love for you and sincere gratitude towards you for spending such a lot of time, you know how busy doctors are, but still he would spare his time from around 8:30 to almost 12 o'clock. I thank him on behalf of the principal, Dr. Sebastian, all the teachers and all of